Hi guys, how you doing? Hope you all had a good Bermuda day. Did anyone get in the ocean? I didn't. It's not warm enough for me yet, but I'd love to hear if you did. But I tell you what, it is getting warm. So today I need me a little bit of a fan on to keep me cooler. There. Nothing's happening with my fan. Can you see the air? No. No air. I wonder what's the matter with my fan. Any ideas, anyone? Because this is not working for me. Hang on. Wait a minute. It's not connected to the power source. Let's see if this makes a difference. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we have air. You see that air? You see that lovely air coming out, making me cool? You can't see it? You can't, Can you hear it? Can you hear it? You hear the, you might hear the fan. You can't see the air. Okay, we're gonna have to solve this in another way. Just you wait. Hang on a sec, I'm going to stand up for this very important job. Are you ready? Now can you see the air? You see it? You might not see the air, but you could definitely see the effect it has. Whoa! This is amazing! Don't try this at home, unless you've got your moms and dads to help you, please. This is so cool. You can see the effect the air has. You can even hear it. Can you hear the flutter? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. That is so cool. And this helps us to think about our Bible story today. The church today has a very, very important day. Very important. It's the day that we remember when the Holy Spirit came to the church. So the people, the friends of Jesus, his disciples and his friends and his followers, I'd had a bit of a rough year. Well, a topsy-turvy year. Like ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. You think you've had a crazy 2020 so far? Jesus' friends had had a pretty crazy year. They'd started the year with following Jesus around the place, watching him do miracles, teach amazing teachings, helping people to learn about God. And they'd even seen him bring people back to life. I mean, like, this was amazing. They knew this guy was something else. They'd gone to Jerusalem, and suddenly their world had fallen apart. Jesus had been arrested, and he'd been killed. And that was it. Like, all their dreams were shattered. This person that they thought was amazing was suddenly gone. World crashed. Then on Easter Sunday, we all know what happened. Jesus came back to life, and suddenly everything was possible again. Their lives were turned upside down. Even death was turned upside down, because Jesus wasn't dead anymore. Jesus was alive, and he was real, and he was with them, and he was eating and drinking and talking and sharing and laughing and doing all those amazing things. So suddenly Jesus' friends and disciples were like back on top of the mountain thinking, this is fabulous. And then 40 days after Jesus came back to life, Jesus went back to heaven and he left them. He didn't die. Jesus is still alive today, we know that. But they couldn't see him anymore. So suddenly they're kind of thinking, well, okay, that's sad, because we kind of liked it when Jesus was around. And they're kind of stuck in this place. They know that Jesus is the most amazing person ever to live on this earth. And they know they've got to go and tell everybody about it. They know that they need to share this message. And they need to tell the whole world about how amazing Jesus is. But how? How do you do that? How do you find the time, the energy, the words to say to tell the whole world that Jesus is the one to change us and bring us to God? How do you do that? So they were a bit stuck. They weren't quite sure what they needed to do. Well, let me tell you now, God had a big plan for these guys. Big plan. He was about to send them like a massive game booster with the most incredible update ever. Just you wait. So these guys, they were in this room in Jerusalem at a time called Pentecost. Pentecost was like a festival of thanksgiving and harvest and celebration and saying thank you to God for all the amazing things that he gives. So the disciples were all gathered in Jerusalem. They didn't live in Jerusalem, but they were gathered there for this festival. And they weren't quite sure what comes next. They knew they had a job to do, they weren't quite sure what comes next. So they were together in a room, and suddenly there's like a mighty, mighty rushing wind fills the room. And they're like, whoa, we're inside and it's windy. So somebody leave the door open? No, this is much more than a door open. Something's going on. And then suddenly they could see like little flames of fire coming onto everybody's heads. They were like, but nobody got burned. Like, it wasn't like a real fire where everybody was on fire and then like they had to call the fire brigade. But it was like the power of God in flame coming to be on everybody. And it was like amazing. And suddenly they were filled with the Holy Spirit of God. They connected to the power source of God. They connected to what it is that means to know God and to be filled with his power. And suddenly they found that the Holy Spirit gave them the time and the energy and the words they needed to tell people about Jesus. So there they were in Jerusalem. They went out on the streets and they started to tell people all about Jesus. Now there were people there from all over the place speaking so many different languages, and they could suddenly speak in all the languages that people needed to hear so they could understand this message. That's one of the amazing ways that God shows his power. He gives gifts to people to enable his word to be spread. Awesome. So they were spreading the word. They were telling people about Jesus. Now, okay, so it wasn't the whole world in one day, but by the end of that one day, the one day when they'd been filled with the Holy Spirit, 3,000 people believed in Jesus and became Christians in one day. Now, they were there at the beginning of the day after they'd had their breakfast thinking, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know how we're ever going to do this job that Jesus has given us to do. By the end of the day, 3,000 more people believed in Jesus. Their lives were never the same again because they'd been filled with the Holy Spirit. Also, maybe because of the wind, their hairstyles might not have been quite the same again, just like mine. But that's okay. That's okay. Their lives are transformed. Their lives are different. They've been filled with the Holy Spirit. They can't see the Holy Spirit, but they see the effect it has. They can't hear it, but they hear God speaking through the power of this Holy Spirit into people's lives. The Holy Spirit is amazing. And from that day, we kind of say that the church was born because there was a massive number of people and they all became Christians and they all believed in Jesus. And so there we are, people who believe in Jesus, put them together, what do you call it? Church. So the church was born that day because the Holy Spirit gave power. The disciples, all they needed to do was make sure they were connected to the power source. And once they were connected to the power source, the power of God did the rest. So let's stay connected to God. And let's make sure that we live our lives in the power of the Holy Spirit. And not worry too much about our hairstyles. All right, love you. Take care. Bye.